Alright guys, we're here with Gianni Suba. How you doing, Gianni?
Good, how are you, man?
Yeah, not so bad, not so bad. We're going to be doing some mixed martial arts submissions today. Just a few things, keeping it simple for the guys at MIMMA. We're going to do a leg lock from standings. Okay, so just here in stance, Gianni throws a right roundhouse, catch it. From here, I catch it, I punch him in the face, boom. And then I roll to his shoulder, sweep. Take him down here, hand on my chest, his chest, sorry. Then I'm going to move towards his knee, put pressure and weight on the knee with my hand, shift my feet, step, fall back. From here, put my other leg over the top, and then if you come up closer, you'll see what happens here is my thumb will go up, and then I'll look towards my thumb. So what we're going to do, we're going to imagine we got to the back, and I'm going to get a seatbelt position, so over, under, here, I'm going to clasp. I'm going to also put my hooks in. Hooks are very important. Without hooks, his feet can move around, he can go everywhere. But with hooks, you know, you have him in a good position and he can't really move so far. I pull him back, roll off to the side that my overarm is on, which means I can put my hand straight to his neck. If I roll to this position over here, it's very hard to choke with this hand. And this hand is trapped underneath, so you don't want to do that. You want to go to the overside. Okay, so I go to the overside. Then I can try and either grab this hand here and like just push it down, or as Gianni does, he traps the arm, pulls out, okay? Still got the hook in, so it's nice and tight. And this arm here is already in position, it's already low, so I'm going to scoop it in here, go towards my own bicep, hand on the back of the head, and just straighten my body out. Okay, and for full extension, if I imagine I'm holding his shoulder here, imagine this is my neck, his neck, sorry, I'm going to straighten my legs out. Okay, and that's going to stretch out his back, okay? From this position, I'm going to probably try and get a bit higher, okay? Which is nicer. He's given me his left arm here. I'm going to hold his left with my left. I'm going to pull it up tight. I'm also then going to push his face across on his jaw with my hands. Lift up my knee, get it nice and tight and closer. Move over again, just a tiny bit more, make sure it's nice and tight, so his arm is now restricted here and won't move out. So I'm just putting my hand across his face here. I then lift up my left leg, still with my weight well above his head, and this arm is still trapped. And what I do now is I lift up, pushing down on his face, pulling up on the arm, cutting across. Now from here, I'm going to try and get his palm to face up, and I'm going to put it on my lower leg, which is by his legs here. Grab his wrist with two of my hands, and turn up. Gianni is now in my guard. I've got my closed guard with my feet wrapped so I can relax, chill out on the floor. I'm going to control his wrist to be striking me, okay? And what I can do also, if he's striking, I can also block his shoulders. So if you do some punches, you can just block shoulders, stop strikes coming in, okay? This is a good thing to do for MMA. Now, controlling the wrist is one thing, and I've been told it's better to scoot back a little bit, put your foot on the hip, okay? And from here, I'm going to lift up my hips a bit and take the hand that's in my right hand, which is left, throw it back and throw my right leg up. So I'm using my foot on his hip here to lift my hip up, okay? Because if I don't, it's hard for me to catch it. But if I do this, push back, keep this one up tight, high, I can get my leg raised that much higher. If my foot's on the ground, it's harder to get there, but if it's on his hip, I can go that much higher towards him. From here, I'm going to then take his right hand, pull it across my body towards my right shoulder. I'll then take it with my right hand, okay? The right leg comes down and the left comes up to pin it. And what you can do here is just put your right hand across onto the knee so this arm can't move out. So now he's locked in quite tight.
The scene is set at Paradigm Mall as the main venue for Malaysia's first ever mixed martial arts tournament. It's all systems go as the cage is meticulously prepared and safety is top priority, which includes the equipment used in the tryout sessions.
For the Malaysian Invasion Mixed Martial Arts Fighting Championship, of course, the tryouts are very important. We have some equipment that we'll be telling you all about. Pete will explain it to me. Right, these boxing gloves, especially for the tryouts. Tell us a bit why we're using boxing gloves for the tryouts itself.
We're dealing with people who are maybe going to be fighting for the first time. Later on, we're going to be using the MMA glove. I'll show you what this looks like. So this allows for some wrist protection, okay? But it's open palmed, so you can grab an opponent's wrist. You can do maneuvers like catching hands, okay? And it's going to allow some protection around the wrist and the thumb, but at the same time being reasonably low on padding on the front, which will protect your own hand. But if I were to do this, it's going to equal a knockout.
What do we do with these?
The thing about putting on headgear is it does give whoever you're against a license to strike as hard as they like. I think if you're a pro fighter, you'll realise that wearing headgear can be good, but bad in a sparring session sometimes. You can see here this offers protection around the sides by the ears and a mild bit on the cheek, but the KO zone is still open and the pain zone is still open. So many fighters will choose this as an option, but some will say no thanks. This is a mouth guard. This is the correct way up, so you can see the teeth print going on inside there. So this is an essential bit of equipment that every fighter will have throughout MIMMA. These are shin pads. These shin pads are basically, they just end up going on your shin, and what they'll do, they'll protect the top of your foot and your shin, and that means that you can kick without injuring yourself.
Now here's a piece of equipment that's very, very essential. It's not a mouth guard or a nose guard. Now these are...
This is a cup, a shock doctor cup. This basically fits into this pair of shorts here. So it fits inside the pocket, and it basically protects you like that. So it's gonna protect your man bits and, you know, allow you to have kids, which would be great. Yeah, these are pads. These are used for striking. We're using these during the striking tryout section, and we're going to be seeing what each contestant is able to do on pads. Muay Thai guys are very good at pad work, and there are some very good Muay Thai sifus checking out the action. Yeah, we'll see some crazy stuff for sure.
Right, so there you go. The A to Z of equipment for the Malaysian invasion.
Ready. I'm ready.
Ready or not, the fighters begin their short journey to the tryout sessions and also one step closer to fulfilling their dreams of being the best in Malaysian invasion.
Right, this is where it all begins right here at the Paradigm Mall in search of the next Malaysian invasion mixed martial artists.
It's a two-day tryout comprising of striking, grappling and MMA sparring to find out who will be the next MIMMA fighters.
The fighters are fully briefed about the do's and don'ts by the MIMMA officials in each tryout session. And as the fighters are put through their paces in the striking and grappling sessions, it becomes increasingly clear that this is no walk in the park.
This level, I think I need more practice because I don't know how to submission, I don't know how to grapple, street fight only.
A crowd and curious onlookers have gathered at the Paradigm Mall to check out the action that all these fighters have to offer.
I want to try how this thing is going on because this is our first time in Malaysia, so I want to try how is the feel.
The striking sessions are physically demanding, and some of the fighters are finding that out the hard way.
Kena banyak training lagi lah. I can see my week tadi lah. About my cardio, my stamina is low lah.
But there are others who are taking these tryouts like duck to water.
We saw a lot of good potential, good striker, good grappler. We hope, they come more and more to boost their sport.
For those who are outside and think I'm crazy, wait for me in action.
How crazy can he be?
My performance just now is only 70% of my energy because it's just a warm-up for me. Wash out my opponent. Yes, I'm crazy.
70%? I wonder where the other 30% is. There it is, the 30%.
Cedric, have you seen any talents today?
Some guys have a good skill. The skill is better in stand-up, but I think some guys, if they work a lot, they can be good in the ground fighting.
Most of them, you still have a long way to go. They have to work a lot still, but it's not something that you can ever learn. In jiu-jitsu, you can always learn.
The grappling sessions were looking equally as hard, as the fighters at different levels were matched up with each other. The sessions exposed the strengths and weaknesses of each competitor as they took turns to submit their opponents on the mat. And as the grappling and groaning continued, there were one or two serious contenders who have obviously set high standards for themselves.
I thought I did all right, but I know I could have done better. So next time I won't disappoint. Actually, this is my first competition. Very nervous. I think I should improve in my BJJ skill. I'm very weak in BJJ skill.
Now, Oliver here is going to explain to us how they actually do the scoring for the sparring itself. Now, tell us a bit of an overview how these fighters get their points scored.
All right, so the fighters for the sparring in the cage, right? As you can see on scorecard, so we'll be judged on their cardio, near submissions, striking combo, cage generalship, takedown defense, and aggressions. They have only 2 minutes. We try to tell them, once again, it's a mixed martial art, so they will be judged on their stand-up, the grounds, and everything. So, yeah, they try to have to be a complete, right?
Okay, guys, your training is the one who never betray you.
It's time the general public know about us.
No pain, no gain.
Welcome to Malaysian Invasion Mixed Martial Arts Fighting Championship, where we get to see Malaysian fighters slug it out to be the best of the best.
So don't go anywhere, because the action starts right now, here, in the Malaysian Invasion.
This is the final session, sparring, where it separates the men from the boys.
Right, this is the mother of all types, the sparring. What's happening here?
Well, what's happening is these two guys have just done grappling. They've done striking on the pads to see how good they are. And now they're in the cage. They're doing MMA sparring, full rules with boxing gloves for safety. You can see it's on the ground right now, and they're working the ground game, ground and pound strikes.
So what can we expect? I mean, it's a 2-minute round, but will there be submissions?
There may be submissions. There was a rear naked choke right there. So they're going to restart, stand up to continue the 2 minutes, and we're going to see what happens.
The first sparring session of the day sees actor Michael Chen giving his best and Keanu Suba displaying some great skills. Scores are taken and both fighters were pleased with the outcome of their sparring session.
Had you been training for that?
Yeah, I've been training a lot with Coach Matt. He's my wrestling coach. And a bit of striking with my brother, Gianni Suba.
Even though you lost, how did you feel?
Actually, overall, because of Keanu's standard as a MMA fighter, he's more whole than me. I'm pretty happy with my 2 minutes in there.
With 7 weight categories in MIMMA, the sessions came in thick and fast. And even with the lower weight fighters, the sessions were keenly contested.
He didn't guard his head. So I managed to did some damage to his face. But I think it's a good fight and fair fight for him.
Coming up next on the Malaysian Invasion, the going gets tough as the tough gets going.